Okay. I'm going to do this because I've heard a lot of LARPing and a lot of shit talking about vaccines, particularly from wignats and saying, I'm not going to get the shot. I'm not going to give them the satisfaction. And I'm going to have to push back very fucking hard. If you call yourself third positionist or you call yourself someone that, generally supports Nazi Germany, I'm going to give you two quotes here. Now, this is from the book I don't feel like showing my face, but Into the Darkness, an uncensored report from inside the Third Reich at war. This is 1940. This is Lothrop Stoddard. This is a book that I'm lucky I got. But I'm going to go ahead and read a couple of passages here from this so I can give you some context and kind of show you. Now, before I read this, let me go ahead and say this beforehand because I know, well, that was different circumstances. I know people are going to say that. Oh, well, these are two different circumstances. America's ruled by, Jews and everything else. And, well, Nazi Germany was based, bro, and all this sort of thing. The thing is that you still shouldn't really, it's like if you're a true National Socialist or even a third positionist, you kind of want to read, at least try to take with a grain of salt what they actually wrote or what, people actually said. So and by the way, I'll go ahead and be very, very particular. This is chapter 15, Socialize Health. Okay. So I'm just going to go straight here and we'll get this out the way. Another interesting point I learned was the progress made in the fight against venereal diseases. Anyone affected must at once consult a doctor under heavy legal penalties. Kind of like what's happening now with the mandates. I know people are going to be like, that's not the same thing at all. I'll read further. Since he or she can get free treatment. Hold on, I'm going to close the damn door again. All right. Okay. Since he or she can get free treatment and choose a doctor they are glad to comply. Privacy for the case is assured by having the doctor send in a report to the health authorities bearing a number, the name and address of the patient remaining in his files. But if the patient does not come regularly or fails to comply with directions, the doctor discloses the patient's identity and coercive measures are taken. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be like a conservative or even be a shit lib, but the thing is, though, I understand you want to try to get appeal and, you want to say, avoid the jab and all this, but this is literally what happened. So why are you going full on anti-vaxxer and going full, I'm just going to say it, full retard? Now, you can go ahead and say, oh, that book is bullshit, this and that, or whatever, but it's like, come on. Somebody's got to push back on what the fuck y'all are pushing for, okay? Anyone spent spreading infection is punished by a sentence of at least 6 months in jail. This sentence is mandatory. Wealth and social position are of no avail. The result of all this sharp drop in social disease rates. Fresh syphilitic infections have become rare. There is still considerable gonorrhea, but much is hoped from a new treatment with sulfanilamide. There we go. Sorry, that was a big word. Sulfanilamide. The war has thus far not notably affected the situation. Soldiers are so well trained in prophylaxis and are subject to such heavy punishment for the carelessness that there has been scant spread of venereal disease by them. So let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and skip to another passage here. Okay. So this is talking about, this book comes from 1940. This is when the book was written. This is basically like a series of articles that Mr. Lothrop Stoddard came out with. So I'm going to go ahead and skip here. This is basically talking about Warsaw, this and that. The water and lighting system has been restored. About the more important aspects of the lives of the people through whose city those unfiltered, unlittered streets ran, I was able to gather little. Nevertheless, the result of this intensive health campaign was an utter transformation of public hygiene. In the short space of 2 months, thereby a great peril had been averted. Sanitary conditions immediately following the German conquest were so bad that unless heroic measures had been speedily taken, mass epidemics would have been inevitable. This would have endangered not only German-occupied Poland, but Germany itself. If such epidemics had spread into the Reich, the consequences might have been catastrophic for the habitually cleanly Germans who have no such partial immunity to filth diseases such as typhus as the Poles have acquired or having been chronically exposed to them. I don't hold the beliefs that this guy does. I'm just reading it. I just want to make sure. Have acquired through having been chronically exposed to them. It was clearly not for the Poles, therefore, but for the benefit of the invaders that this miracle of sanitary science has been invoked. Yep. So just to make sure here, yeah. Slum-like conditions, but yeah. Delousing stations. Pardoned a man from his clothes, both going through different cleansing processes. These were so nicely synchronized that the naked individual usually met his garments at the other end, both clean and freed from local inhabitants. The clothes were dry since they had been subjected to a blast of hot air, which desiccated them almost immediately. Germany's coldly efficient system. Yeah, I'm just kind of reading other stuff here, but honestly, I've never read this book all the way through. But these are just a couple of examples right there. So why are you like I said, this is what doesn't make sense to me. If you call yourself a third positionist or a national socialist or even call yourself a fascist, why? And maybe I'm giving the Republican sort of boomer argument here, but why are you so opposed to vaccines? I don't get it. Because it's like, you were arrested if you didn't get, your shots, and you were placed in jail for it. So this is absolute bullshit. Like I said, I understand why people would go off about this and would, they want to gain appeal and stuff like that and say, I'm not going to get this vaccine. And they'll say, well, the Germans were, better, they serve the interests of the people, this and that. The American government doesn't serve those interests. Yes, that's true. I don't disagree with you on that. And yeah, these mandates are going to be horrible. But why are you so deeply opposed to it? Because the thing is, like I say, when Nazi Germany was in power, they had just as harsh measures, just as, or even worse measures than what we have right now in the United States. So this is fei hua to me. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's fei hua when you see this sort of stuff. I know people are going to say that was in the 1940s. It's not, it's different from 2021. I get that. But it's like, if you genuinely see yourself this way, why are you so opposed to this? I mean, if it was just, if there were a couple things were changed at the administrative level where, Merck or whichever other, pharmaceutical company you can think of, I just can't think of any off the top of my head, but if they were more, based in red pill towards white people, then you would support that? I don't get it. When you really push this whole anti-vax stuff and you're just like, okay, I don't get it. I really don't. Anyway, I'm probably going to piss some folks off, but you know what? I don't care. Somebody has to say it. And so, yeah, just feel as you want to. I'm sure people are going to get mad as hell about it. So anyway, that's all I got for you. See you later. Goodbye.